Cheers, everybody. Complete performance is what that was from England tonight. 4-0 against Ukraine. I couldn't listen. I've had a lifetime, and I'm sure a lot of you have. I've had a lifetime of England performances that are sketchy. There are mistakes in there, and listen, there were a few hairy moments at times tonight. Maybe a bit of complacency sinks in, but the truth is to go to Rome, to put a performance like that on, to control the tempo of the play, dictate possession, create chances. And having switched up some elements of the lineup with Jadon Sancho coming in, England were professional. We got the job done. Tactically, I thought our shape was spot on. I thought it was really difficult for Ukraine to play out of. They clearly wanted to sit deep. You see the stats before the game saying that they were the deepest side in this competition. And England, listen, it would have been easy for England to have been very pedestrian in terms of tempo, but we were direct. We tried to create chances. Sterling's vision for the first goal and also his ability to drive into that midfield, it has shone in this tournament, but none more so than in this game. And I thought we had an absolutely outstanding game once again, off the ball and on the ball. And the vision to go and find Harry Kane, who, listen, Harry Kane earlier in the tournament isn't finding those type of opportunities. Now, again, they were limited in the early parts of the tournament, but his position in this game is where you want him. Maybe it was confidence with someone like Harry Kane. The minute he gets that goal in the last game, a lot of people suspecting that he would therefore go on and start to perform. And again, right place, right time, latches on. It's a great finish. And the game changes for me. It changes in terms of how Ukraine are going to approach it. They had to come at England a little bit more. I think the injury as well that they had, the man going off, bringing on that left wing and going to 4-3-3, they sort of posed England some issues. Yaremchuk pulling off to the left-hand side. Walker at times getting his angles mixed up, positionally slightly off. And I think that, and we'll talk about Jadon Sancho, was a risk. I think Gareth went into the game expecting England to dominate possession, which we did do for large parts of it. And that's why a player like Jadon Sancho started. And I thought, positionally, defensively, he probably wasn't pulling his weight. And that's quite a big thing to ask of someone like Jadon Sancho, because that's not his game. But he grew into the game massively. I thought he was really encouraging to see a player of that quality. I think England have missed that a little bit. I know Bukayo Saka's offered it in previous games, but Jadon Sancho, the way he sizes players up, the way he's willing to drive in field, the link up that he had with Mason Mount, I thought Mason's positioning tonight as a number 10 was absolutely spot on. We've seen him in previous games peeling off to the left and doubling up with Raheem Sterling, but the pockets of space that he was finding, his pressing off the ball, his pressing with that front three at times when Ukraine had the ball in the first half was absolutely superb. And listen, it really was just a case of get to half-time. I thought Declan Rice as well, obviously, it's a West Ham fan channel, so you've got to give Declan Rice his props. I thought he had one misplaced pass tonight. Other than that, I thought he was spot on. People need to understand with Declan Rice that his job isn't to score goals. His job isn't to go and beat 2 or 3 men. It's about finding the right positions and reading the game and protecting the back four. And he does it absolutely tremendously. And he did do that at times tonight, when Ukraine had the ball in our final third. That's why he's in the team. That's why England have been so solid. And I think you saw England open up, whether it was complacency or whether it was personnel. England did open up in that second half when both him and Calvin Phillips left the field. So that shows you the importance of those two tonight. It's a lovely header from Harry Maguire. It comes from a Luke Shaw delivery. And Luke Shaw, again, is a player that's growing in this tournament. I think there's been a few players that have turned up from the get-go, Raheem Sterling, and there are players that just seem to grow with games. And Luke Shaw getting the license to get on further forward, Declan Rice sitting in, allowing the fullbacks to drive on. He comes into his own. He's not the most creative player at Manchester United down that left for no reason. The delivery from the free kick spot on. You look at the third goal as well, the way that he's driven, the floated delivery and the position of Harry Kane, and it's game over. The Hendo goal is nice for him. It's brilliant delivery from Mason Mount. And this is what I love about this England team. The options that we have. We didn't have Mason in the last game. He comes on, he performs well. Sancho hasn't played in the tournament yet. He comes on, he performs well. The standard of performance from all of these players is consistent and it's improving. And there are players that are growing into it. And for me tonight, there was a real element of this team believe, even the way we were stroking the ball, we believe that we can go on and win this tournament. And that's the biggest thing, to get that win over Germany, to come into this game, to treat it in a very professional manner, to understand the nature of the game and the significance of it. And just to get it to Wembley as well in the fashion that we did is absolutely brilliant. And I've got to have a quick look through my notes just in case I've missed anything. To be honest, I mentioned set piece quality. I think that's something that England have missed in the tournament so far. And that's where a main source of our creativity has come from in the World Cup and hasn't quite translated into this tournament yet. But you see the threat that Harry Maguire is. And you see that, listen, Ukraine were a poor side. They are a very poor side. You know, when they tried to press England, I thought they really rarely threatened to trouble us. Yaremchuk was their outstanding player in terms of what he was going to produce on the night. But other than that, they offered no intensity. They offered no physicality. Defensively, they were poor. They were getting pulled apart. England were beating players at ease. But you've got to have the players to do that. You have to have the Jadon Sanchos, the Raheem Sterlings, even the introduction of Jude Bellingham brought energy. Henderson, passing range, you know, Mason Mount. But England have options. And this is why we should always think that England can now go on to win this tournament because of the personnel that we have. They are improving the shape tonight, the press, everything's getting better. And it's all bubbling up at the right time for me. Denmark's a possible banana skin, where England have had a lot of successes down that left-hand side. And Denmark tends to do very well using either Braithwaite or Dolberg to stretch it, Mæhle to come on that left-hand side and really kind of offer another threat going against England. So it's by no means easy, and it will offer a different type of game plan. But we've got options. We've got intensity. We've got physicality. But above everything, and this is why, me included, I shouldn't have written England off into this tournament, because the quality is there and it's just about getting there. I also want to mention Gareth Southgate. And again, I think you've got to give him a lot of plaudits for the decisions that he's made. This team is clearly thriving under him, but more importantly, the substitutes in terms of having a perfect type of game plan. Phillips, again, rested. Declan Rice, rested off the yellow cards, giving other players opportunities to come onto the pitch, giving Jadon Sancho minutes to get his confidence up. That's big. And I think where Gareth can sometimes be tactically naive, you know, we look at Italy and we'll say Italy are the gold standard for attractive football. There's a lot tactically that Mancini brings to Italy. And England don't quite have that same pattern of play. But what he's very good at is managing his squad, managing players, managing moments. That might be the difference in tournaments. That's why we're conservative. That's why we keep it tight. Because at the end of the game, when you need something, or even at the beginning of the game in terms of this game, you need to manage players and the type of players. And England are blessed with a lot of attacking talent. We're blessed with a lot of options in fullback positions where our creativity comes from. And Gareth's able to use that perfectly. I think that's fair to say. So I think you've got to give Gareth Southgate credit. I believe he's won the most amount of knockout ties out of any England manager. That deserves huge plaudits. And listen, we go into the Denmark game, 60,000 fans. Someone get me a ticket. Someone get me a ticket. I'll get to a box park. I want to be outside Wembley, because that atmosphere on Wednesday evening is going to be absolutely tremendous. And like I say, anything can happen. So cheers everyone for watching. Probably tactically not what you were expecting in terms of analytics, but it's very difficult at this time, isn't it? 4-0 against Ukraine, the most comfortable victory I've seen from England in a knockout tournament in absolute years, probably in my lifetime. Long may it continue. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Rest up. Wednesday's a big one. I'm sure everyone's hitting the pubs, hitting Wembley. We're going to enjoy it, and quite rightly so. Well done, England. Well done, Harry Kane. Well done, Raheem Sterling. And of course, well done, Declan Rice.